Hi, I would like to offer thanks to Christopher Shue, On2, Jeremy Wyatt, John Olson, and Lasse Christensen. All 5 of these people have gone to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and supported this show and our entire network of content. I hate that word, our entire network of talking about stuff. You can do that too, and you get a lot in return. And, just it also helps us and hopefully makes you feel good. Yeah. Patreon.com/DuckFeedTV. I've gone off the rails.
My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week we are talking about Deus Ex Human Revolution, which is an immersive sim developed by Eidos Montreal and published by Square Enix for last-gen systems in 2011.
Yeah, and this is our premium episode.
Oh boy.
Welcome to the premium episode.
This is going to be a spicy one in terms of like sheer value hours or hour value. You're going to get a lot after the jump on this one.
Maybe the longest episode we've done, which I had a creeping feeling of dread while playing it. I was like, oh yeah, this should have been 2.
Oops. Yeah.
This should have been 2 episodes. Like, this is long. So there's a lot here. If you are, if you're just one of our patrons, you're hearing this, thank you very much. If you're hearing this on the public feed, this will, we're going to go up through generalities, and then all the body will be for patrons. If you go to patreon.com/DuckFeedTV, $5 a month gets you all those episodes. There's one of them a month.
Yeah.
And they are good. And this one I think will be good as well. So join us. We appreciate it.
Think so. Yeah. So this game, it's kind of a reboot and prequel to the original Deus Ex. It takes place in 2027, about 25 years before the events of that game. So where Deus Ex concerned itself with nano augmentations, nano machines and such. This it's the mechanical augmentations that you saw on Gunter and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, except they look 1,000 times better.
Oh, yeah.
Like the weird sequel nature of this is very strange.
It is, yeah.
And I kind of wish they had given up on it on the sequel.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for everything to look so much better. I know it's before the collapse and before the Grey Death and all that stuff.
Yeah, the reason they gave, and I'm not sure that I believe it, is that in the original Deus Ex, you're going around mostly all of the rundown poor places. And you go through poor places here, too.
Yeah, and then you also spend some time in like Paris.
Yes,
in Deus Ex, like it's not all rundown poor places. But you kind of have to there's a couple places where you have to squint your eyes.
Yeah.
With that, and we don't play as JC, we play as Adam Jensen, who is the chief of security at an augmentation company who is nearly killed in an attack on that company. Ends up having to be augmented and is then sent out to unravel this conspiracy and mystery of what happened to girlfriend.
He gets RoboCop.
Where wife.
Has
and
somebody
he is
done wife harm?
harm?
Yes.
Yeah, wife harm is the main thing you're avoiding. Adam Jensen, to me, it took me a long time to warm up to him. He's no JC.
Right.
I think that this guy is kind of funny, though.
He is pretty funny.
I am kind of into Adam now. He's such a fucking dork. And the actor who does him, this is just his voice. He's not doing a voice.
That's really funny.
When they do interviews, he sounds exactly like this. It's just a guy.
He's rolling around. He's got some kind of like Steven Seagal energy in terms of how whispery his voice is.
He's just a real ASMR goon. He's so serious.
Yes.
Boss. Just the Adam Jensen voice, boss.
Yeah, I didn't really. It didn't take any time for me to warm up to Jensen.
He's so funny.
Yes,
like he said, the cast in this game I think is very funny. It's not like Deus Ex funny. We're not JC. Like JC is more like God tier. He's the God particle of video game characters. Like there's not a higher video game character, but this is still very funny to me. Like I end up finding it charming, even though he is kind of just like a gross tough guy.
Yes,
in a lot of ways.
Yep. But yeah, you play as him. He gets robo-copped. And you go out on this grand world-spanning adventure, and the play is, pretty similar to the first game. We're doing a lot of the same things. You have first-person exploration, you've got shooting, stealth, conversation, hacking. Yeah,
all of which are better developed.
Yes.
Than the original. Like the way this still, so the kind of goal of this that you can see is that they set out to make a game that respects the same kind of freedom of approach, but actually develop each of those systems a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
The compromise is that like levels are smaller in this. It's somewhere between like Deus Ex 1 and Deus Ex 2. It is not, you don't have quite the level of freedom of approach to it, but what you get when you trade for that is every individual element of this game, I think, would work pretty well on its own.
Yes.
Like the shooting in this game is really good. I think this is a really good, FPS third-person shooter hybrid.
Yeah, you have to spec properly to not die in 3 hits, but it's there if you want to pursue it. Yeah,
and if you play it as a kind of hybrid with the shooting with the stealth is also pretty good during this. You're pretty fragile in this, so you do want to hide, but you're able to. And you have this kind of cover system. The camera pulls out to third person when you take cover, which is really elegant.
Love that.
And seamless. Yeah, it just looks good and just works perfectly well. The stealth itself has like a set of systems, so cooldowns and security systems, cameras, things like that, computers you can hack. There's a robust kind of stealth area around this. And the game plays best, I think, when you're doing a hybrid of stealth and combat, and it just works really well.
Yes.
In that it is very fun to post up undercover, headshot some fools, and then as people come to go check out their friends, put them to sleep with a tranq rifle.
Yep.
Make a big puddle.
Except sometimes you end up doing what I called the tranq juggle. Where you don't shoot somebody before they rouse the other person to wake up, so you are keeping plates spinning because the last person always just wakes up the previous person.
Yeah. As long as the big one's watching the little one, because as long as they stay one piano lesson ahead of this guard, that's why you throw a gas grenade at the whole pile.
Well, yeah.
It's like everybody just go to fucking sleep. Jensen needs you to go to good night.
I don't know. So I never got like the non-lethal gas grenade, and we could probably talk about this while we're talking about the different approaches and stuff. I think people get way too wrapped around the axle about the pacifist run in games in general.
I agree. It's a weird thing to me. It is like, I think that it's ideally a challenge mode.
Yes.
That is like something that you should do for additional challenge, and it's neat that it's available. And I think that a lot of people bounce off a lot of games by thinking that's the only, like, it's a fail condition to not engage with that.
Yeah.
But to me, that's like starting Guitar Hero on Grandmaster or whatever. Like it is a harder mode. And in this game, it's certainly like Dishonored. That's a big thing, and I've said my rant about that a million times. In this game as well, it's much harder to go entirely non-lethal. In this, you get more experience. That's kind of the trade-off. But
I like that system.
Ammo is rare.
I like that system quite a bit, actually, where you the experience that you get is kind of broken out into these intermission kind of achievements.
Yeah. I agree. And the way that I end up like typically playing these games is I use the shade of having lethal and non-lethal as an opportunity for role play.
Yeah.
So like to me, if I'm Jensen, and I'm Jensen, I get to decide whether this person has to go or not.
Yeah.
And it's a role-playing game. I'm playing pretend, and it's fun in pretend to be like, no, these people are just doing their jobs. Like it would be wrong to kill these people. These people gotta go. They're wrapped up in the conspiracy that is doing this whole thing, and they're going to cause a lot of harm.
Yeah.
And making those decisions is part of like playing a video game to me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I bring that up here at the start just because I remember that being a huge complaint about this game. Was that it did kind of obfuscate the pacifist, or there was bugginess around tracking the pacifist kind of thing. It seems like a weird thing to get wrapped around the axle for.
Well, and we should also mention too, the other big part of the discourse around that was the original version of this versus the collector's edition or what have you. the Ultimate Edition, because the bosses did not allow a pacifist approach before, and now they do.
But the pacifist approach still ends up with them dead as fuck.
Yeah, they die, but they die at the cutscene.
Right.
So you don't have to do it.
Right.
But you can fight them if you've more in kind of in general, as opposed to a moral stance. In a mechanical stance, if you've been speccing your inventory for non-lethal, you can still fight the bosses.
Yes.
Which previously was not the case.
Right. Previously, it pulled an end of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines where it didn't
Totally.
respect your non-combat build.
Yep, and it was silly, and it needed to be fixed, and I'm really glad it got fixed.
Yes.
In general, I totally agree with you. Like, it is fun. I have done so this is my third time playing this game. Second time I did it non-lethal because it was challenge mode, and I was ready for the challenge. And it's fun. Like, it is a different type of playing the game. It is very different. But just kind of it being the only way to play, I think, is weird.
Yeah.
To me.
I just wanted to raise that now while we are talking about the combat and the stealth, and just while we are kind of evaluating the overall level to which this is polished and focused. Just overall, there is way less jank to this than there is in the first Deus Ex.
Deus Ex, absolutely.
Yeah, I am in favor of the jank in Deus Ex. I find it charming, but like this feels like a modern, smoothed over and like concentrated experience. Yeah,
incredibly polished game.
Yeah.
The other thing that kind of gets kind of revamped in this is the conversation system. In Deus Ex, that was a big part, kind of dialogue trees, and depending on what you'd done, you could sometimes talk your way out of situations. Here, they gamify that a lot more. I think that this is probably my favorite system for conversations. Like conversation boss fights.
Oh, absolutely.
Games, basically, which is, it doesn't happen very often. That's the thing. But as opposed to doing it in stealth checks, you have augmentations that allow you to kind of psychologically profile your enemies and then apply pheromones to them. Where do they come from? I mean, where are they? Where is the port on Adam Jensen that is just like, spraying this mist, into Darrow's face? But the idea of having to do appeal to somebody based on what would appeal to them, as opposed to just like, this person is good, he like good. Yeah. This person bad, he like bad. Like it's not BioWare.
No.
It's a little bit more complicated than that. Like when you, especially if you have this pheromone thing, you'll talk to somebody, you'll be like, hey, this person is a control freak, and they need their ego appeased to.
Yes.
So you can say something that maybe they wouldn't like. If you say it to them in a nice way, it still gives you points towards like winning that encounter.
Yes.
I think it's great. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, it gets down to be really getting really detailed, even without the pheromones. Something that is really good that they do is, instead of just having the little truncated prompts, like little stub, like confront, push, etc.
Newspaper. Yeah.
Right. You can highlight it, and it'll actually like give you a little bit more context about what it is. So it's not exactly what Jensen is going to say. However, it tells you like what tack you're going to take. I don't know why you would play this and not put the points into the KC mod, into the conversation one. Yeah.
Well, and if you're playing the Game of the Year edition, you will end up with almost every mod. Yes. So it's like, it's not like they're super rare. They start out rare, but and again, it's just like, even that touch, like just telling you what you'll say when you hover over the thing, over the dialogue choice, is really huge, and games still get this wrong consistently.
Yes.
And it's amazing. Like I was referencing Fallout 4 earlier. Fallout 4 is obviously the worst example of this, where like sarcastic. Yes. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Like what am I doing? Am I saying yes? Am I saying no? Am I making fun of the person? Am I, what does sarcastic mean as just a fourth choice on the menu? It's so dumb, you know. And here, at the very least, like, as much as like, we'll talk about the story of this, which I think is it's like a much smaller scope than Deus Ex is, and I think a little bit to its detriment. Even then, the dialogue itself, at the very least, tends to feel pretty logical. Yeah. Like when you have three options to kind of persuade somebody of something, all three of them are pretty good arguments. Typically, like, they make sense. They follow that you would say it, and that somebody could potentially be convinced by it, even if this individual person is not.
Yes. Something that I think is really important for this too is that there are stakes. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
you can fuck this up and they will decide, I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
And then you have to find another way to proceed.
Or they'll go into combat, or they will kill themselves.
Yes.
You know, there are big things about this. It's kind of like hostage negotiation.
Yeah. And that's especially true in the boss fights. The fact that they codify and present those conversations differently, like as boss fights where, you know, you don't break first person, but like as as Jensen is
We're going to do that a lot.
Yes, we are. Sorry. As Jensen is talking, like you will see, like you move in or like you change position around the person, you know, so you are still in Jensen's, you know, point of view, but it becomes more cinematic, more tense. You have like, you know, I don't know if this is part of the Casey mod or not, but like the persuasion level as well, like showing like how basically what their conversational health is really cool too. Yeah, that's
the KC mod.
Yes,
like showing you how well you've done that, and them on their kind of 3 axes, like whether alpha, beta, or omega, whether they're those type of people. In a weird way, this reminded me of fulfilling the promise of what the Oblivion kind of conversation wanted to do.
Yeah, what the fuck was that, man?
Well, it's horrible. It's one of the biggest disasters in that game. That is mostly disasters of systems.
Yep.
But like this still has that same kind of thing. Like this person would respond well to being joked with. Like this person would. It feels like the good version of that.
Yeah.
To me, and not just like, you know, a better version of a bad thing, but actually a really good thing in and of itself.
Yes.
The other thing I like, and I feel like this is somewhat controversial, is hacking, which instead of being like a meter that fills up is now a mini game that you will be doing a lot. So just when people don't like this, they don't like how often you do it. Fair enough.
Yes.
I think that if you can take some joy in the hacking mini game, though, this is a really good, like, it's maybe not to BioShock 2, which is my favorite, like mix of engagement and lack of friction for a hacking thing, but I think this hacking game is fun and cool on its own. It is really cyberpunk. Like it feels like a spiritual successor to the Genesis or Super Nintendo Shadowrun games.
In reading about this, they looked at Shadowrun. I don't know about like Genesis or SNES, but they looked at like Shadowrun's hacking system generally to pull it out.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
So you're capturing nodes to eventually shut down the system and gain control over it. And you have a percentage when you're capturing these nodes, depending on your stats, of getting caught. Once you're caught, it sets up a timer. And then on your way, you have these little sub goals of getting these data stores in order to get money and items and experience on your way to actually shutting down the thing. It ends up being a huge source of XP in the game, and really, really will open the game up for you.
Yes. Something that is nice about this is if you are not necessarily spec'd for hacking, and there is mandatory hacking that is there will almost always be a power-up, different little worm cartridges that you can use to either freeze the timer or just instantly take over a node. You know, next to these things, like they account for you barely engaging with the system.
Totally. In a way that is a little bit ham-handed, in that like very high security things that are not necessary will be security 1,
right?
Which is how you can start. Like that's a little silly.
A little bit.
At the same time, though, like, you know, what is the alternative? Yes. Like I am fine with them papering over that and ruining my immersion a little bit, just so I can, if I somehow play this game as a non-hacker, which I cannot imagine, not getting, you know, actually stuck. Yeah.
This is going to sound really weird because it is just clicking on nodes, but both of us played this on PC. So if there are interface concerns when using a controller, I don't necessarily know about them, but even when you're just clicking on nodes, realizing that while you're capturing one point, you can capture other ones as well. And trying to keep as much of that going so I can go down multiple paths at once and checking my cooldowns and stuff like that. I actually felt pretty badass doing that.
It's a really engaging little game.
Yeah.
Well, it's tuned really well.
Yes.
So like the time limits you have tend to be like early, like eventually hacking becomes fairly trivial. Especially once you have a big, huge stash of like e-worms and e-viruses.
Yes.
To stick in there. But the early on, there's so many times where like I would beat a hacking challenge with less than a second left, and it's so cool. Like it just feels so awesome, especially if it's in like, you know, the real world doesn't go on. When you hack, things change. In this game, I'm pretty sure.
So you can be shot while you're hacking.
Oh, you can be shot. You're right. Yeah. But but it's very rare that you're doing it in combat,
right?
Because you'll get shot. But there are points where it's like really intense little emergent situations. You duck into an office. You need to turn off a camera, or you need to turn off a turret so you can get past something, but there's a patrol coming.
Yeah.
And you hack it with like seconds to spare and then like dash out the door. It creates a lot of really, really fun close calls.
Yes.
And then the consequences for failing a hack are not high. You get many attempts to do it. You can, if you're having a real hard time with something, you can save scum, like you can save and try again.
Right.
You can always also just kind of log out before you get caught. And there's no consequence for that.
Right.
Unlike Twitter, where so it's really neat.
Yeah.
I'm really pretty enamored with that system.
Yeah, I would play a standalone game that was this.
Totally. Like if it was really developed, like you take this and kind of adds a bunch of twists and stuff on it, like it would be a really, really fun little phone game.
Yeah.
So
it's really good.
Let's talk about powers.
Let's do that, because there are a bunch of them and they really change the way that you play. So you have different augmentations that you can get, and you upgrade them by getting experience or by buying praxis kits. These are kind of your levels, and every level you allocate one of these new abilities. Like a particular kind of ability will usually have a higher investment. So like the first node on the upgrade tree or the tech tree for that will take 2. Before you like open up, I don't know, like just your strength mod or what have you, and then go ahead.
The first thing will give you something too.
Yes.
It's not just getting access to that part of the tree. So you'll get something pretty significant, and then the things that cost 1 upgrade tend to be edge cases and upgrades to that first ability.
Right.
That you have, and this is at 2 different purposes. So the idea in the story, your systems will come on slowly, or come online slowly after you've had the surgery. So you will gain praxis points through experience. So that represents just the time it takes for these systems to wake up. You can jumpstart them.
Yes.
With these kits that you find in the world. There's a wide variety of things these cover. These are things that like change how guns handle, your run speed, your jump height, being able to turn invisible, being able to fall from long distances. All the hacking stuff is in there. It basically replaces the skill system.
Yes.
In the original Deus Ex as well. So there are tons of things in this, and there are things that almost all these things suggest a build to me. And you do get enough of them. Yeah. Like early on, you will be horny for praxis, like the internet leftist,
an eager student.
Yeah, and then eventually though you will, I guess I'll put some points into HP.
Yeah. No, that's I think that we talked about that. A new ability or a new verb is always going to be more attractive than plus percentage to something, right? And yeah, like stuff that I thought would be relatively marginal still opened up different approaches to situations. So like something that seems really goofy is the one that lets you punch through walls. Like, I'm stealthy. Why would I want to do that? And like, that draws attention if somebody's near. But this whole, like, all the places you go are full of these really fragile walls. It's just the ability to make a door.
Yeah. And kind of go into the substructures of places. Like a lot of the abilities in this have multiple applications.
Yes.
So they suggest a build, but also like that punching through walls will help you be stealthy. It will also help you set up ambushes.
Yep.
If you're playing a more combat oriented character, the being able to melee knock out 2 people at once.
Oh yeah.
Really huge. Like for all playstyles, like if you're playing lethally, like you can dash into a fight and neutralize 2 big targets at once.
Yeah.
If you're playing non-lethally, guards tend to cover each other. You can time your stealth patrols for when the guard is when 2 guards are next to each other, and take them out at the same time.
Yeah.
So in a very Three Stooges-esque way, by knocking their heads together sometimes.
That's very funny. Yeah. Or, my favorite of those, the single takedown, is where Jensen sneaks up behind somebody, taps them on the shoulder, and as they turn around, he punches them in the face.
That's really good. The only place I don't like that one quite as much is the only thing I like more than that is the lethal one where you use your spin hand to basically twist their neck. It's so brutal. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
You grab their head and you kind of whip out their whole body and then just go and like you're setting up a wet towel to slap somebody in a locker. with it, but with somebody's neck.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's really intense. Like, it's very brutal.
I love it.
Really good.
Yeah.
We should probably just briefly talk about melee or various kind of combat builds.
Yeah, we can talk about that, and I think that melee is probably, you can't talk about melee without talking about the energy system as well.
Yeah. So your powers most of your powers use energy. Thankfully, there are only 4 of them you have to manually activate. In this, most of them are context dependent, which is like a huge quality of life thing I didn't know that I wanted in the original Deus Ex.
Yeah.
But things like, the ones that, increase your dash speed, just turn on when you're dashing and turn off when you're not. That's really great.
Yeah.
The other thing that uses power, though, are melee takedowns. And the idea being, because you are, a RoboCop, you are using your augment power to do these superpowered takedowns. It's why you can knock somebody out in one punch.
Yes.
No question.
Yeah.
So this takes up one of your bars of your energy here, and it makes melee, since melee is an instant takedown, it makes it not a build and more of like a panic button that is good for all builds.
Yes.
It ends up being really interesting the way melee sits in this. It's not a way to fight. It's like a power up.
Yeah, you're not going to, in the world, pick up the dragon sword or something like that.
Yes.
Or a police baton or flex baton or what have you, and use that as just a weapon. There is no free melee attack that you can do. Like, you can't just punch somebody. But it is this oh shit button that you can deploy. Whenever you have the energy force situationally. Is there a reason to do the lethal takedowns?
Only if you want the person, because as we mentioned earlier, guards will wake each other up.
Yeah.
And if you just want that person to go, is why you would do the lethal takedowns. There's no reason, like, you get less experience.
Yeah.
For doing them, and if you are tucked away, like if you're out of the way and no one's going to come upon that guard, a non-lethal takedown is better because you get more experience and there's no downside. So,
gotcha. Yeah. And you manage your energy, so it recovers automatically. You have a refresh rate on that, and you can upgrade both the maximum capacity, so different little batteries you can put in, and how quickly they recharge. Also, you've got some good good.
Sorry. The way it regenerates is interesting because it's not. They're like thresholds. So if you use up 90% of one battery, that will regenerate. If you use up a whole battery, that battery will not regenerate.
Okay.
And past 2.
Gotcha.
So it'll regenerate up to 2, but after that you have to eat power sauce bars.
Yup.
Basically.
And here I am in these boss fights, just downing, not just bars of power sauce, but huge bags of it, and then a jar. That
jar, that like protein powder workout jar that you're chugging in the middle of battle is so funny to me. Like everyone doesn't have one of those in the back of a cabinet. And maybe I'll do smoothies for lunch maybe I'll just do that. And then it doesn't happen.
Nope.
And you just have this huge, protein jar.
Yeah. That is surely rancid by now.
Absolutely.
Colonies upon colonies.
Millipedes. But yeah, I love, and those ended up being such a funny item too, because they're, you're early on. Like the power curve is such that I did not use, my powers very often because I didn't have them.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay. Like I'll take an energy bar. Sure, I can eat. And then later I just, a decent chunk of my inventory was just energy bar products.
Yeah, you're walking around like a GNC.
Yeah, human GNC who's just trying to stealth past the fucking
GNC Denton.
It's pretty good. GNC Denton trying to stealth past these Antarctica zombies.
Yeah.
Whatever at the end. Energy system.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's fine.
It also is used when you sprint.
Yes.
So.
Oh no, energy isn't used when you sprint. It's there's like a stamina.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There's a third bar.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So this is there are originally 2. So there was a Deus Ex 2. There were 2 aborted attempts to make a Deus Ex 3 shortly after Invisible War. One became Project Snowblind, which would be a pretty weird game to do for the show, but I could see doing it at some point. It is a fun shooter.
I played like the first 2 hours of that.
Yeah, it's good. It's like it's just an FPS with powers. It's not very Deus Ex-y, but it is fun to get those powers.
Yes.
And nothing ever came of it until the Deus Ex license left Iron Storm after Iron Storm closed down and went to Eidos Montreal.
Right.
They pitched this follow-up.
Yep, they pitched this follow-up or reboot to Square and like, hey, go ahead. And, also inherited from Ion Storm was troubled development. This game, began development in 2007, didn't come out until 2011. There were multiple delays, and there were also lots of areas that were rushed. You can go and look at this. There's lists of things, but the primary stuff that was cut, they had more hub areas. So Montreal, you visit there briefly in this. That was going to be a hub. I think there was going to be a hub in India. I think that it's not really hurt. I think that the game is already just a skosh too long as it is.
I would agree.
So it probably didn't suffer for that, but there were things that it did suffer for, and they amended that.
Yes, which were the boss fights.
Yes.
They ended up having to farm the development to a third party called Grip Entertainment. And Grip did not do a super good job with these.
No.
They are, in the original version, which was the first version of this I played, they actually remind me a lot of Resident Evil boss fights.
Yeah, I can see that.
Initially, which is just I have no choice but to stand and shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
You are an unflinching bullet sponge that will continue to walk towards me like a tyrant. And I have no choice but to shoot you.
Right.
And then it is just this attrition of me spamming heal and spamming energy bars and going into my inventory where time pauses to switch different grenades and stuff and see whose health lasts longer.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah.
So people didn't like those.
No,
those were not well thought of. And the director's cut came out, and they fixed them.
Yeah, they went back in and said, hey, this is a game with builds. Why don't we do that now?
And I think that for paper in a Scholar of the First Sin kind of way, I think they do a really good job with these.
Yeah.
Again, I know I'm heaping a lot of praise on this game. I really love this game. It's not Deus Ex, but it's very good.
Yeah.
The thing that they do, I think that makes these remarkable to me is that boss fights in these type of games are never going to be good. They almost kind of top out at Resident Evil style boss fights, which, just staying there and emptying your ammo into things. What these do, I was contrasting the first boss in this where it's in the director's cut, I had to lose them and then go explore the level with the boss fights in the Wolfenstein game we did recently or something.
Yeah.
I'd much rather do this than hit 3 glowing weak points or make a big cyber guy Toro into a wall to expose his back, or any number of shitty boss fight cliches, going and hacking a storage garage to find some turrets to fight him for me is pretty interesting.
Yes.
Even though it is a patch, it's a Band-Aid they put over something bad. I think in terms of boss fights for this kind of game, that's actually a pretty almost like a watermark for it.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to think of good boss fights in this genre. So it's weird. They didn't only paper over something bad, but I think that they actually did kind of a standard bearer for what this could kind of be.
Yeah, for sure.
While still in the world of boss fights, still not being great.
Right.
In a Deus Ex game, these are good bosses.
You're grading on a curve, right?
Yes.
For you said it a couple times, first person shooters generally never have good boss fights. I defy you to name more than 5 good boss fights in a first person shooter game. You probably can do that, and I'm pulling that number out of my ass. But here they at the very least say, all right, you got 2 paths. You got the shooty path, which is kind of more conventional, and we're going to honor, we have a couple of ways to honor your build decision to let you use the arena against the enemy. That's just a good way to do it.
And they had to do it without redesigning the bosses themselves. The bosses don't get new verbs or new movesets in this. They just change the level around them. So when you're doing the non-direct combat version of these bosses, it's about using a subset of your inventory, which is about distraction and delay.
Yeah.
That use in the actual levels, like flash grenades and gas grenades and EMPs and stuff like that. Using things like that in order to buy time to explore. Yeah. And that's a really neat, exploring under pressure. Is something that if you take all the aspects of Event Crawler, exploration is definitely one, and pressure is one, but very rarely do you have to do that under pressure. I can't think of very many games where it's explore this level very quickly. Right. Is the thing, and that ends up being, I think, pretty neat. And they're not all as successful as they're not equally successful. Right. In that, but I think they ended up making them pretty good up until the end, and then that boss is absolute trash.
Well, yeah, no, I hate the end boss in this game. It's pretty bad. I don't think there was much they could do with that. No. It's horseshit. Yes. So I want to heap some praise. This is a really positive episode in general, and that's fine. Coming off of Simpsons, I suppose. One of the things that I really love about this game is the visual design.
Oh, yeah.
This has one of the strongest aesthetics of any game we've covered, really. It's really good. It looks fantastic, and reading about the development process is pretty interesting.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and it does the thing where any screenshot of this game is immediately recognizable.
Yes.
As being from Deus Ex Human Revolution. Like, it is a little bit like you have to kind of suspend. Again, there's a little bit of eye focusing.
Yes.
That happens because some of the outfits are a little goofy.
Yeah.
But we can't predict fucking fashion.
No.
Like do you think that people in the 70s would think we look cool now? Of
Right.
course they wouldn't.
No.
Like they didn't know this was going to be how people would dress. People didn't know that the haircut from Leo from Final Fantasy VI would get really into vogue. Like they had no idea.
No.
So like the the idea of kind of taking this Renaissance kind of thing, this idea of a new Renaissance, and using that as their watchword for this is pretty unique.
Yes.
And just the color palette, like the bold, gold and black, like just very beautiful, bold colors.
Yeah.
Really unified aesthetic.
Yeah. There is a character who there's something different about them. Like they are not exactly what they seem. And the way that they use the color palette to signal that, it's like, this character's design features colors you never see anywhere else in the game.
Yeah.
Like that is such a subtle cue. I'm enamored with it. And something that I really like that they did was they initially pushed it just a little too far, and then they pulled it back and said, okay, like we did all Renaissance. What if we do like a third Renaissance and like a half cyberpunk? So you end up with all of these just beautiful, like geometric and polygonal patterns and stuff.
Lots of geodesic dome style patterns, like interlocking pyramids.
Yes. But you end up with incredibly good sculpture in this game, weirdly. Like, I want to buy stuff out of this catalog, Gary.
Yeah. Especially, I just want to buy all of those life-size moving muscle men.
Yes.
Like skinless muscle men. Just two poses. That's basically my aesthetic. I'm just going to surround my bed with 4 of those. Use 4 of them as bed posts. Just dripping with cyber blood.
Oh, of course.
The aesthetic is very beautiful. The thing that makes me the very first PAX I went to was in 2011, and they had a Deus Ex event for this at a bar where they had Deus Ex themed cocktails and had the bar kind of decorated like this. Yeah, which was pretty fun. Yeah.
So like I've seen people like I even like the fashion in this game, so fuck me, I guess. But I've seen people like say like, oh yeah, this is really goofy, and like there's a different, I think that there are a couple of axes that you can judge this on. Like you can say like whether or not it is tasteful or whether or not it kind of rings true to you. But an axis that this does succeed on is how strongly stated it is.
Yes. Yeah. And the fashion it really varies. Yes. Whether I think that like Hugh Darrow looks pretty ballin'. In this, I like the way that your boss looks in this. I think that like the way he's dressed is cool. Generally it's just the NG Resonance precursor who I think is dressed a little silly.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that's like 90% haircut as well.
True. But I really just I really dig like Jensen's overcoat that he wears. His cool coat with a floral pattern on it. Like fuck yeah. Yeah, I like the floral pattern a lot. A lot of like fleur-de-lis. Yes. And it's cool looking. It is like a nice looking game. Yeah. The soundtrack as well, I think is pretty good. Yes. They only quote a couple bits of music, but the ones they do are very key. Yes. UNATCO theme.wave playing when you go into your the first meeting with David is just awesome. Yes. I love that. And then characters will hum music from Deus Ex. I love it. I didn't even notice that, but there's like people who hum like the Templar music in the street and stuff, and I'm like, that's cute. Yeah. So there's some fun Easter eggs. Yeah. And then it ties more into the plot in ways we'll talk about. It is not a direct prequel. Like there are bits of that. Yeah. Like Bob Page is about. Yes. In this, but it does feel like a little bit the way the story relates to the original Deus Ex is pretty loosely, and again, it's a much smaller scale story, which we'll talk about when we get into the episode itself. I have no particular problem with that. It's just not as like
you don't run into bartenders and have debates about forms of government.
No.
Like there's no Australian bartender moment in this, but it is judging by the curve of video games, extremely strong. Judging on the curve of, depending on what day you ask me, my favorite video game of all time, like slightly less strong.
Yep.
So,
yeah. So I mean, a big question for us might be, is this a worthy successor? To Deus Ex, just if we consider Invisible War to be this kind of diverticulate, we talked about, we did an episode about Invisible War.
Yeah.
And kind of ways
I think featured the Cole Ross quote, I don't think I've ever played a game which made me feel less or something like that. Like I feel nothing about this.
Yes.
Basically at the end of it. So
you know how I feel about that. But, as this reboot, as something that is going to carry this name and carry this type of play forward, do we feel like this is a successful follow-up, a worthy successor?
Yeah.
I mean, my answer is yes, I do, but.
Yeah, I do too. It's not quite as crunchy. It's not as far on but it's somebody who is the world's preeminent Deus Ex 2 fan, by which I mean I give it a B-. I think that game, which I will eat up in order to get those little tiny nuggets of Deus Ex goodness. Yeah. This is full of Deus Ex goodness. It's not, it doesn't have the exact same dizzying heights, but the kind of higher floor to it across the board, like the fact that the shooting, like a lot of the systems you're engaging with, even if the level design is not quite as strong, the actual systems you're engaging with are so much more fun. Ends up making it like pretty close. Yeah. Like definitely worthy. There is more than it initially appears in this, as far as like just a kind of different quest outcomes and stuff. Like it still kind of respects that. Yeah. For you, like there are weird little detailed bits. I think so. And Warren Spector also thinks so. He had some criticism, but he also feels like this is a good successor. Yes. Of course, he doesn't care about Deus Ex anymore because he started doing the Mickey Mouse games, which just is like, boy, again, talking about the past not being able to predict the future. Me playing Deus Ex and being like, oh, he's going to play a bunch of unplayable. He's going to make a bunch of unplayable Wii games about Mickey Mouse. Cool. Yeah,
but also the rabbit.
I hate that little rabbit so much. Yeah. He should have stayed dead.
So there was a piece of DLC. There was story DLC for this that we're going to be covering. It's called The Missing Link. It's a part of the main story. It was cut from the initial release, but it was kind of folded back into the main campaign in 2013, which leads to a real weird moment that we'll talk about, where you are quite obviously like jumping into a different scenario. Yeah.
It paces the main game really strangely.
Yes.
Like exceedingly strangely. Like this actually works way better as DLC than it does integrated. Yeah. Which is the first way I played it, and it was wonderful. And then on the times I revisited this with it integrated, I like it less.
Yes.
It ends up being kind of weak, while having fairly strong level design and cool concepts and stuff in it. It ends up being kind of detrimental to the actual experience. It's placed really weirdly in the story. It's like basically the penultimate thing you do. Yeah. In this, so it's not like in the middle. It's like almost at the end. You just go on the side thing that kind of fucks with some urgency.
It kind of usurps the gameplay climax of the game.
Yeah. Yep. The director's cut also added extensive developer commentary. I've not listened to this, but that would be interesting.
Either have I. Yeah.
Yep. A prequel called Deus Ex: The Fall came out. Mobile devices. I have attempted to play that as a Deus Ex completionist. It is unplayable. Ooh. Even the Steam version. It is excruciatingly dumb and bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, I figured if anybody would have something good to say about it, it would be you. So
totally.
hearing that confirms.
I love Deus Ex. I love Invisible War with my good boys, the Omar. The Omar coming. It's Deus Ex 2. Yeah. But this is, I couldn't get past the second level of this. Yeah. It's just so dumb. Like they're just like really short corridors. There's no level design to it. Yeah. It's really janky. Like the Steam version is a port of the iOS game. Whoa. It's incredibly bad. Yeah. What I am a defender of, and some people are not super into, is the actual sequel, Mankind Divided. Yeah. Came out in 2016. That's a really good game. And someday I would love to do it for this show.
This has been really cool. A real weird year for me in terms of playing games for the show that I immediately want to go into the sequel to, but I have other stuff that I need to play. So like Wolfenstein, I wanted to go play New Colossus. Hitman, I desperately want to play Hitman 2. And here, I would really like to go play Mankind Divided. I want to spend more time in this world.
It's a really cool. I think Mankind Divided has my favorite hub zone of games.
Mm-hmm.
Like the main city that you spend doing most of your quest in is so fun and so good.
Well, it's Prague. Like Prague rules.
It's Prague. Yeah, Prague rules. Prague rocks.
Yep.
Prague rocks. It is a very, and the way that they do in this game, you can break into some apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Fine. I always like breaking into apartments. They're pretty, and you move people's fridges and put them in their bed, and it's fun.
Uh-huh.
In this, though, but everyone's apartment is pretty Spartan. In that, they really make the apartments and living situations kind of tell you about the people who live there. The added detail, like the current gen added detail, is hugely additive in that game. It is very good. I've never actually played the DLC. It's a similar, like, you get depowered thing.
Yeah.
It takes place in a prison.
Weird.
Like you go to prison to do something, and I started playing.
You get sent to Butcher Bay.
Yeah, it's basically Paddington 2. So you go to jail, and I just was like, man, I just don't feel like not having my powers. Mm-hmm. Like, I needed to wait longer before I played it, and then I just never went back to it.
Yeah, I'd like to dip into that quite a bit, just to mess around. I remember you talking a lot of sugar about it when we did Thief Simulator.
Oh yeah,
was a Duckfeed Presents a while back. Yeah. So that is the end of the regular portion of the episode for the general public feed. If you would like to hear the rest, which is sure to be sizable, consider going to patreon.com/DuckFeed.tv.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And you get all the back episodes of that as well, and tons of other stuff.
Yes.